All right, good evening and welcome to Feel Good Talk Love 101. I'm your host, Charles Brakely, along with the host of Love 101, my man Naeem Najib. How you doing today, brother?
I'm excellent, Charles. I'm good. How are you?
Oh man, I'm doing great, man. As you can see, I'm laughing, so obviously something's going right. You know what I'm saying? Um, we're gonna get started, but before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, which is the A Game. I'm gonna play the commercial and we'll be right back. Here's the A Game. And that is the A Game, great for vitality, energy, strength, and libido. And if you want your free sample, give me a call at 302 723 2836. Again, 302 723 2836 to get your free sample of the A Game. So, hey, we're going to get started, Naeem. I know we got some things to do today, so we're going to get started right away. So, I'm going to let you take it away.
All right. Let's do it. Let's take it. Let's see where we're going today.
All right.
We're going to start where we always start, which is about what love is and what it's not.
Okay.
Again, I'm Naeem Najib, also known as the Love Doctor, and this is Charles Brakely, also known as Dr. Feel Good.
Dr. Feel Good. Trying to get used to that name, but
yeah, right. Yes, Dr. Feel Good. So I'm here to give you another way of looking at love and another way of looking at healthy relationships and toxic relationships. My main goal is clarity and critical thinking. So I'm not here to tell you that what you believe is right or wrong. I'm here to tell you that, I'm here to show you what you may have been believing and then something else. And when you can see them both side by side, you get to choose, right? If somebody gives you a cup of water that's dirty and one that's clean, you naturally choose which one is best, rather than someone saying, oh, your stuff is dirty. Well, what if you never knew it was dirty? What if that's all you knew your whole life? This is the way it looks. You thought that water is supposed to be gray and murky. That's what you thought it was. And then somebody said, well, look at this. It's clean. And then without judging yours, right? Because you got to do what you got to do. And so I'm here to show you that there's another way of looking at love and healthy relationships. And if you would share my screen, please, Charles, we're going to start from the foundation, the principles, fundamental principles of love and fear. So we're looking at the facts, FACTS of love and fear. And then this acronym stands for the principles of which a healthy and a toxic relationship is based on. Healthy relationship is based on, let's start it. Let's use it as question. Let's do it a little differently today. So Charles, what do you think a relationship based on fear, being afraid, and being forced to do things you don't want to do? What do you think that kind of relationship is? What does that seem like to you?
An abusive relationship.
Well, how do you feel about a relationship where you're free, where you feel free, the other person or people feel free, everybody knows that they're not going to be attacked for expressing themselves? How does that feel?
Love. That's what love is all about.
What about a relationship where there's constant attack and abuse, where someone's angry at you just for showing up as you show up? So you wearing that red feel good hat. Why you got to wear that hat? I don't like that hat. Take that off. That makes me mad. They angry. They arguing. They griping at you over you just showing up how you normally show up. How does that sound? How does that feel?
Well, I'm gonna go with the chart here. That's a toxic relationship.
What about someone says, oh, Charles, I appreciate you. I appreciate that show. Appreciate your hat, your merchandise. Appreciate the A Game. Appreciate, everything that you're putting out here. What does that sound like to you?
Oh, that's a healthy relationship.
What about a relationship where there's constant conflict and no resolution? It's just every single moment and opportunity, there's a conflict, there's an issue, and then there's confusion around why it even started. You know how people say we fight and we don't even know why we're fighting?
Right.
What does that sound like?
Toxic relationship.
What about a relationship where there's communication, where there's clarity, where there's we understand, we're on the same page, we're in alignment, we're on the same sentence, same paragraph, we know what the other is, what your thoughts are on this, because maybe I asked you, Charles, what are your thoughts on this? And I listened to what you said, and I was like, okay, I understand where you're coming from now. What does that sound like to you? Does that sound confusing or?
No, it's a healthy relationship right there.
What about a relationship which is constantly traumatizing, and your past traumas are always triggered over and over again in that relationship? What does that sound like?
Toxic.
What about a relationship where there's trust and truth, where you can fall asleep around this person, you know that you can leave something and it'll not be bothered or messed with, or nothing will be missing when you don't have to look over your shoulder, where you ask someone a question, they're going to tell you the truth. So, things like that. What does that sound like?
That's a healthy relationship there.
Opposite of lies and deception, right? So what about a relationship where you feel just so distant and separate, like I don't even want to deal with this person, even if we may live in the same household, see each other every day. I just feel like I hate them, I hate their face, I hate their clothes, I hate their voice, I hate everything. And you feel suspicious about them, you feel shameful, you feel guilty. The only reason why you're dealing with them is because of some guilt you have, some shame. What does that sound like to you?
Toxic.
What about a relationship where you feel innocent, where you're sincere, where you can show up as you want? You can say what you mean and mean what you say, and you're not going to be attacked for it. Like, it's just the truth. Even if you say, I know you invited me to this event, but I don't want to go. I have to pass on this. And you know that there'll be no love lost. What does that sound like?
That's a healthy relationship.
Sounds good to me. You got any comments, any questions in the background? By the way, this is an open conversation, y'all. So if y'all have questions or comments, please.
Please. I'd like to give a shout out to Carla Young, Nasir Dickerson, Tammy, and Matt. I hope I said that right. And Shayna Grind for tuning in. What's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. And if anybody got any questions out there or comments, feel free. This is what this is about. Ask the Love Doctor. You can remain
Dr. Feel Good. Let's go.
Ask Doctor. Yeah, you can ask Dr. Feel Good as well. So I'll see what I can do. I'll try to make you feel good. There you go.
As long as you feeling good, Charles, we know all is right.
That's good. See what I'm saying?
Feel good talk. Imagine you come on here like, everybody, what's going on? How y'all doing today?
Exactly. And shout out to behind the scenes, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times we come here laughing already, so something that went down behind the scenes before we came on. So again, it's always fun over here. So
yes.
Naeem, I mean, we talk about this every week, and I heard someone say it again, and we just have to address this again, I think, because it's constant. It's a constant thing where people, still are saying that love hurts, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like, what? Matter of fact, we had a conversation the other day. What did somebody say? They said something about, love makes you do crazy things. And I was like, no. I said, love don't make crazy, make you do crazy things, So that whole misconception about, the using love all the time as excuses for why you did something wrong. I see that a lot. So I don't know. I said maybe we need to talk about that a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the confusion, Charles. The confusion that comes up when we're like, okay, love makes you do crazy things. What if I said the doctor or the healer, the one that's supposed to help you, you go there so that they can make you more sick? Right. The doctor makes you sick, y'all. The doctor makes you, poisons you. The one that's supposed to save your life kills you. you'd be like, no, I don't know if I trust that, right? But then
Right.
we want to take this word, just the word love, and give it such a broad and contradictory meaning. It's just not okay. I would rather be okay if people said, listen, remember the left side of the chart, love is fear, love is anger, love is abuse, conflict, trauma, separation. That's what love is. And that's all love is. Nothing good, all terrible things. Like, good. Well, at least we know when you say love, you're consistent. You're saying that it's something that hurts all the time. But when people say love hurts, like you were saying, Charles, they're saying that it hurts sometimes in some situations with some people. And that's confusing. Because then it's like, all right, well, I thought my mama loved me, but then my quote unquote girlfriend loved me, but she's beating me up. So that's love too, right? That kind of, but it's like, why, how can you take something that's on this side is healthy and this side is toxic and merge it and say, well, it's the same thing. No, let's look at the outcome of what happened. If someone's beating you up, that's not love. That's not healthy. If someone's hurting you, that's not healing. If someone's healing you and nourishing you and helping you, that is healthy. That is loving. You can't, just because you're calling it by the same name doesn't mean it's the same thing. And I think that's what's the main point. I'm going to say that again. Just because we're calling something by the same name doesn't mean it's the same thing. Charles is a popular name. You could have a Charles who's Dr. Feel Good. You could have a Charles as Dr. Feel Pain, right? And they both could be named Charles, but they're not the same person.
Right.
Over here, we got Dr. Feel Good. He's here to make you feel good, help you feel good. Over here, we got everybody just hurt, pain. I want you to feel pain, you know, bring the pain. And then his name is also Charles, but he's not the same person. And we confuse it because I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I talked to Charles the other day. He slapped me across my face and said, that's what you deserve. And it hurt. And I'm like, well, I talked to Charles too. And Charles, he gave me a free sample of the A game. He said, that's going to make you feel good. So you told me that Charles hurt you? You're like, yeah. You told me that Charles helped you? I'm like, yeah. And we forget because we don't go deeper. We think we're talking about the same dude.
Right.
Charles is a popular name. This Charles is out here that are not about feeling good. This is about Charles is about misery, pain, conflict, abuse. There's all kind of Charleses, you know. But then there's also the Charleses about feeling good. So that's what so you have to realize that there's a identity theft issue when it comes to the name of love. That we're out here trying to clarify and bring clarity and consistency to the name. We're saying that love is freedom, appreciation, communication, trust, sincerity. That's love. The other stuff that's not freedom, that's conflict, that's trauma, that's separation, that's anger, that's shame. That's not love, y'all. That's actually fear. Just because it's taking on the name of love doesn't mean that it's love.
Right.
And that's where the confusion. So whoever said that love makes you do crazy things, that's like saying Dr. Feelgood hurts you sometimes. No, it doesn't. Dr. Feelgood, whose name happens to be Charles, doesn't hurt you ever. But this other Dr. Feel Pain, whose name is also Charles, he is about hurting you and making you feel bad. And that's why you got to realize, well, tell me more. This love, and listen, those who aren't looking at me, I'm making quotes, air quotes, love, quote unquote, that makes you do crazy things, quote unquote, sometimes. Tell me how you're thinking when you're thinking in that mindset. Are you thinking with suspicion? Are you thinking with trust? Are you thinking with appreciation, or are you thinking with anger? Because this is two different thought systems, two different mindsets. If you're thinking with anger, then I can understand how you could do crazy things. But love is not about anger. Love is about appreciation. If you're thinking with appreciation, you're not going to do crazy, destructive things. You're going to do loving, appreciative, kind things. So let's talk more about that. When you're saying, oh, love makes you do crazy things, tell me what you're thinking, how you're feeling when you're talking about this thing that you call love, which is just a identity crisis that we're dealing with here. So that's
and also another thing we need to touch on too is I see a lot of people say, I love you, but not in love with you. Let's talk about that.
Well, that's again, when we get lazy in our thinking and our talking, We just think that everybody is a mind reader and they're supposed to know what we mean. No, we don't know what you mean. Say what you mean. In a lot of cases, you mean, I appreciate you, and not but, and I don't want to be in a romantic or sexual relationship with you, or I'm not attracted to you, or I just don't have those type of feelings for you. And that's okay, because love is not a feeling, right? Love love can be felt, but it is not a feeling. You understand? It's kind of like this. Look at this. This is a bottle of water, but water is not a bottle. Water can go in a bottle, but if I emptied all the water out and you said, "Oh, I'm thirsty, Naeem, can I have something to drink?" and I hand you an empty bottle, you'd be like, "Stop messing with me. Why are you giving me an empty bottle?" I'm like, "Because this is a bottle, right?" Love is a bottle, so you should be able. Water is a bottle. You should be able to drink it. No, love is not a feeling, just like water is not a bottle. Love can be felt, just like water can go inside of a bottle. So you can detect love through your feelings because you feel appreciation, gratitude, clarity. You feel these things, you feel trust. But it is not that feeling. That feeling is indicating to you that you're thinking along the lines of love. That's it. Because love is a thought system. It starts with the thought first. The feeling is the byproduct of the thought.
That's deep, man. That's deep. Yeah.
So I hope that bottle and water example made sense, because just because you can pour love into your relationship is the bottle. Your relationship is not the love. Just because you can pour appreciation into this person or into this forum or into this text thread, that person or forum or text thread is not the love. That's just a place where your love can be expressed. Just like my love can go into, or my water can go into this bottle, my water can go into this little cup here, my water can go into this this plant here. It can go into many different places. It can go into my hands and go into my mouth. It can go into my nose, and that won't feel good. But water can go in different places, but it doesn't mean that these places are the water.
Good. Awesome. I love that. Love that. Hey, y'all, we do got one comment here. Nice one here, too. So I'm going to let you read this one, Naeem.
All right. Dreddy Gal says.
Dreddy Gal. What's going on, Dreddy?
As always, thanks to you both, Dr. Feelgood and Love Doctor, for doing this. Love Doctor, in your new course, Healing Toxic Relationships, you include a section on boundaries and standards. Could you talk more about these? What's the difference, etc., between boundaries and standards? What do you mean by purifying in the title? Thanks again. Appreciate you both, Dr. Feelgood and Dr. Love Doctor. So you should use both our names in that.
Yes, you did. Thank you, Dreddy Gal. Appreciate you.
Helping you.
Want me to leave that up for you, Naeem, or you want to put it down and come back up to it?
Pull it down. We'll come back up to it because I have another comment in the back that I want to get to as well. We're going to get to that. And this comment from HT Lovejoy here on vacation says, "Does love mean that we always must agree on everything?" And that's a good question.
Yes, it is.
Because what kind of life is it if everybody agrees on everything, right? Just in your own family, you got siblings and stuff. You're like, "Hey, siblings, let's watch this movie, Pocahontas." Everybody's like, "Yeah." And it's like, "Let's eat this food, mashed potatoes and gravy. Yeah. Let's go to this person and play at their house. Yeah. Let's go and do our homework together. Yeah." No, but that's not the way things happen. All right. That's not the way real life happens. Everybody has their own things that they like and they dislike, and it's variety. Because just because I don't want to see Pocahontas right now, does that mean I don't love you?
Right.
I may not like Pocahontas. Maybe I want to see Little Mermaid, But that doesn't mean that our love is different. But you can be, that's what makes you an individual. You like what you like, you dislike what you dislike. And that's what when couples and people say, "Oh, we know everything about each other. When they're starting a sentence, I can finish it. And I know what they like and I know what they're going to say." I'm like, that sounds boring as you know what. Right? Because it's like, really? Like, to be with both of y'all is to be with one of y'all? Is that lame and ordinary? Like, Yeah, I know exactly what you want. You want peas and rice with the curry, with the fork on the left side, and then the napkin underneath, and then knife on the right side. And then you want to put your napkin in like this. And then you want to eat one little part from the left side, and you want to work your way from the left to the right of the plate. And then you want to be like, yeah, that was good. I'm like, yeah, hon, it was great. And like, did you put cardamom in there? Only a teaspoon. I know you would put a teaspoon because I always put a teaspoon of cardamom. That is lame, y'all. Come on. Like, I'm not trying to judge. I'm also judging. That's lame. Like, come on. How do you grow in a situation where you all do the same thing, like the same thing?
Right.
But disliking something that someone else you love likes doesn't mean that you have to be enemies now. It just means that, okay, maybe one of you is a vegan, maybe one of you eats meat. You can still sit down at a table and share a meal. It's just not going to be the same stuff on your plate. Just because one of you likes this type of music, the other likes that type, it just means, well, at least maybe you can expose each other to different types and then say, okay, I really like that. I never heard that before. I really like that. I really don't like that. I haven't heard that before and I really don't like that. Now, at least thank you for exposing me. I don't have to sit up there and listen to it with you, though. I can put my earplugs in and listen to my own stuff. You don't have to like the same things to be in love. And again, in love doesn't mean romantically involved. It means in freedom, in appreciation. Help me out, Charles. In what? C.
Oh, C is communication, trust, sincerity. You know, I break it all down to you, baby.
Thank you, Dr. Feelgood. You can be in all of that. You can share the screen. It's
Yes,
right
sir.
there.
Yes,
You
sir.
can
Let's
be
go
in
there.
all of that
Right.
and not have to agree about anything. And I mean, unless it's major things like, okay, that again, we're trying to build a life where, hey, I believe in paying rent. And you know what? I don't believe in paying rent. I believe in just being homeless and forget rent. That may be something that may be incompatible if you want to both live in the same place and you don't agree with you don't like being homeless and whatnot, then you might have to work things out. But it doesn't mean I still love you in your little box on the corner next to the Starbucks. I'll pass you by and say, hey, how you doing? I'll give you a few dollars. I still love you, but I'm going to pay my rent. I'm going to pay my mortgage and live over here. Right. So I don't have to judge you or attack you because that's your choice. You're what? Free to do what you want to do. So thank you for that question, HT. And then we have some more comments. Looks like people saying hello to each other.
Yeah, well, no, actually, it's we have Fatima. What's going on, Fatima? She's actually inviting people in. So
okay.
Appreciate that, Fatima.
Thank you.
Fatimala. See, when I say Fatimala, she knows exactly what I'm talking about. So
yes. Yes, thank you for the reminder.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And Dreddy Gal talked about boundaries and standards. So let's go straight into that. I'm going to share you can see my screen.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about boundaries and standards for a moment because there are difference between the two. So there's a clarity chart. I know I wrote it. So it's up in here we go. So what's the difference between boundaries and standards? So can you read the standard side and I read the boundary side, Charles?
Yes, sir. Standards are personal.
Oops, I was trying to make it. All right, boom. Boundaries are interpersonal or social.
Standards are about how you treat yourself.
Boundaries are about how you allow others to treat you.
Your standards have to do with your relationship with yourself.
Your boundaries have to do with your relationship with others.
Standards are the rules by which you conduct yourself.
Boundaries are the rules by which you conduct yourself in relationships with other people.
And only you can violate your standards. You cannot violate someone's standards.
Right. So if your standard is to drink a glass of water every day before you get up and go about your day or take a shower, I can't be like, no, don't drink that water. Even if I said that, it's not going to stop you from doing it, right?
Right.
Others can violate your boundaries. You can violate others' boundaries, right? So if I use a simple example, take off your shoes before you enter the house. Somebody can be like, no, I'm going to just walk around your house with my shoes on. And that's violating the boundary. Then you have to decide how you're going to deal with that. But you can also violate someone say, all right, take your shoes off when you or I don't like you using profanity around me. And you can be like, oh, you know, F that. And then just use profanity. You can violate their boundaries. But again, it's not about, okay, just because their boundary doesn't mean you have to respect it. Just because someone has a boundary doesn't mean that you have to respect it. Just because you have a boundary doesn't mean someone else has to respect it. So that's why we get into enforcing boundaries and how you deal with that, right? So we have some examples of boundaries and standards here for your, for you to look at. And so if you will read the boundary side, I'll read the relationship side. I mean, the personal.
Okay, personal standards. Okay, cool.
So here's some physical standards and boundaries. So I will not abuse my body. That's my physical. I mean, that's my standard on the physical level. I'm not going to abuse myself.
So I'm reading the relationship boundaries then.
Yes.
Okay. I will not allow anyone to abuse my body, physically attack me.
My personal policy or standard is I will attend to my personal hygiene every day.
Okay. In my relationship code of conduct, I will not remain in the presence of someone who has bad hygiene.
Yeah. Halitosis. All right. So emotional, verbal standards and boundaries. So I will take full responsibility for my feelings at all times. That's my standard.
Okay. And my boundaries are I will not allow anyone to project their fear-based feelings onto me. Onto me. Yeah.
And for myself, I will not engage in negative self-talk, beat myself up. I will appreciate myself as often as I can remember to.
And my boundaries is I will not stand for verbal attack or abuse from anyone.
And the rest, Charles?
Oh, I'm sorry. Gee, I'm sorry. I choose to receive only appreciation, not attack or judgment. I'm sorry, man.
Oh, no worries.
I got sidetracked and started looking at something else.
And financial, I'll take full responsibility for my finances at all times. I will not voluntarily give money when I really don't want to.
Okay. And I will not allow anyone to guilt trip me into giving money when I don't want to give it.
And personally, I will not make myself financially dependent or become financial strain on anyone.
I will not allow any other adult to become financially dependent on me.
Thank you. Can you bring up Dreddy Gal's comment again?
Yes, sir. Let's see where she's at. Let's get this up. Boom.
All right. So, yeah. So she said, talk more about these. What are the difference? And what do you mean by purifying in the title? Purifying. Yeah. By the way, healingtoxicrelationships.com. That's the place to go check it out. It's a place to receive information, resources about releasing your addiction to toxic relationships. So Healing Toxic Relationships 101 is a course that we offer that we will be bringing. We'll be talking about that live sometime soon as well. Right, Charles?
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up. We got a whole lot of stuff going down. So actually, we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll probably be on tour, coming to a city near you or your city, wherever you are. So again, that's coming soon. Actually, July 25th. That'll be our first live show. And that'll be held in Wilmington, Delaware at the Red Robin. Right in Brandywine Parkway, right off of Namens Road in 202. So definitely check it out. We'll have it. It's posted in Facebook and we'll post it again. So we'll let you know. And as we see, I got some comments here where Fatima says coming to Maryland. Yeah, we can come to Maryland, Fatima. That's not a problem at all. Just let us know. We'll be there.
Yeah, and get your people together.
You get your people together and we'll come and we'll present it. I think everybody needs to hear about this and learn a little something. And she says, can you put that post up? I says yes, and she says yay. So cool. So we'll get out there, like I said, but we're starting in Delaware, and we'll see how that works out, and then we'll go from there. You know what I mean? But like I said, this is something that we do need to hear because we do hear a lot of nonsense out there. So we definitely have to get some stuff corrected. And again, this is all Naeem Najeeb's work. So again, get this man his props. You know, always got to say that. You know.
Thank
And
you.
she says, "That's what's up." Thanks, Fatima. And Dreddy Gale says, "Love that you are doing a love tour." Yes, indeed. And you know, that's what we'll call it too. Thank you, Dreddy Gale, for the name, the love tour.
Yeah, love tour.
Coming to a city near you. All right.
And I can't wait to do this in person with people. We can just do an all-day workshop of getting deep into toxic relationship healing, getting the material and going through exercise. Like we have the workshops, exercises, practice, games and stuff we can do to practice. We have this game called Identify the Attack, where we can watch a movie or a TV show and stop it and say, look, in that situation, when she was like, where you been all night? Like that was an attack. We can just, we can talk about it. So instead of watching TV and movies the same way we normally just sit back and absorb everything, we're looking at it critically. Like what is really going on in this show, in this program right now? And that's very helpful to make it into a game, to have fun with it. Because listen, all of the programming and trauma that you've been through, I get it. We all take it very seriously and sincerely. But I put my belief on everybody so strongly that I know that you're more powerful than any of the trauma that you've been through. So we ain't even gonna focus on that. We're gonna focus on the healing.
That's right.
That's back to what I was saying about purification. Purifying a toxic relationship. Purifying means that before things can get clean, you got to get your hands dirty. Think about when you clean up your house, or you clean up your bathroom, or you clean up the kitchen, or you even wash dishes in the sink. It ain't all about being clean. It's about getting dirty. You got to get in there and get your hands dirty to clean stuff, which means if you have toxic tendencies and thought patterns and feelings and behaviors and habits about yourself, you got to start looking at that, and it's going to feel bad. It's going to feel bad. It's going to be like, me, I was the one acting that ratchet, that petty. I'm responsible for being that conniving, that person that I talk about because I'm so conscious and like, oh, look at these unconscious people who do all of this guilt tripping. Like, no, that's you. Okay. Maybe you don't detect that it's you, but it's you. Naeem, everybody, it's us. So you can't act like you transcended anything until you do it when it really counts. And that's when your ego, or aka your conditioning, when you're triggered. That's the way to say it. When you're feeling triggered, you're like, I use this example. It's like, okay, if you and your ex used to always argue and fight all the time, back and forth, and you're like, oh, I've done all of my mama say, mama sama makusa stuff, and then your ex comes by, and then all of a sudden, all the incense just stop burning, all the candles go out, all the prayers go out the window. You like, what you doing over here? You so and so. You start going into that again. You haven't done nothing.
Right.
They are your test. They're your lesson in your test. The lesson was the relationship, and the lessons that you were supposed to learn were those lessons of freedom, appreciation, communication, trust, sincerity. And if you come back, and it doesn't matter if you've broken up together, whatever, but now you're still approaching them with fear, attack, conflict, trauma, triggers, and shame and separation, you haven't learned anything. How can I say I learned something if when the time comes, I cannot show what I've learned?
Right.
Like I'm learning how to read and write and do arithmetic. You're like, oh, Naeem, I was doing really good in the practice and, behind closed doors when the private tutors are saying, look, 1 + 1 is 2. And I'm like, oh, yeah, 1 + 1 is 2. And I'm looking at it, 1 + 1 is 2. But then I come outside of that little bubble and I go out into the real world and I see one person, another person, and I'm like, they're like, so how many people are there? It's like, 5. I don't know, right? Because I can't under pressure. Think about it. Would you rather be with, let's just say you hiring somebody, you going through this hostile environment. Maybe it's a neighborhood, maybe it's a war zone. And you got 2 groups of people asking you, can you hire us? One group of people is a bunch of soldiers, quote unquote, who've been through basic training for 18 months. never fired a shot, never stopped anything from happening, never been on the battlefield, never done anything, never made contact with the enemy, but they practiced for 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side, you have a group of soldiers that they did basic training for a few weeks, but they've been in battle for 18 months straight. In every battle, they've won. Every enemy, they've defeated. Every conflict, they've neutralized. But they've seen the enemy and they've prevailed every time. Which one are you gonna be? Which one are you gonna hire?
All right, exactly.
The ones who've actually seen real combat, or the ones who pretended to see real combat?
Right.
You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
So it's an easy question. So that's why I'm like, okay, do you the toxic relationships course is going to bring up all of that stuff in you. It's going to bring it to the surface so it can be purified and healed, which means in order to get above and beyond the demon inside you, you got to look it in its face and be like, you know what, I'm not afraid of you.
That's right.
It doesn't have any teeth. It's not fearful except in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And
I do want to say something too. I can't forget the Phenomenal Women's Network. Excuse me, my throat, man. Whew, Lord. Elsie, author visionary Elsie Logan. We're working together now. We're working together with this on the 25th. So we're working together on the 25th. So you will see us on the 25th, and we're collaborating. Yes, Phenomenal Women's Network, and also Elsie Logan. So definitely let me just see some, because we have some comments on here. I just want to make sure that we clarify that. And is on Facebook as we speak now. So if you go into the Phenomenal Women's Network, it has all the information there for the 25th. I'll actually bring it up and post it on Feel Good Talks website so it can all flow together. But I think Fatima, you were invited, and a few other people that's on here was invited. So yes, it's the same thing we're talking about, but we were talking about the program also. So they're both going hand in hand. So we'll, like I said, on the 25th, we'll both be together. But we'll have that information out to you guys, definitely. So let's see. We do got some comments here. Let's get to them. I can't get to them for some reason. Hold on, Naeem. I'm sorry, brother.
It's all right. I can see them here too.
Yeah, let's see. We got them. Oh, Dreddy girl. She says, okay, we already said we've seen that already. Okay, and I'm glad I said. See, here's somebody here. Mary Louise. Yes, this is Author Vision. Yes, this is who we're talking about. We're collaborating, and we're having something on the 25th in Wilmington, Delaware. Right at the Red Robin. So definitely come and join us. We're going to have a great time. We'll be there live. And, then we'll also talk about healingtoxicrelationships.com as well. So all of that goes hand in hand. Let's see. And Fatima says, my connection keeps freezing. I may have to reconnect later. Bummer. Hey, that's cool, Fatima. No problem. And Rob says, Rob Dickerson, what's going on, brother? He says, ask who's the most important person. Oh, question. Wait a minute. Ask who's the most important in your life. You got to clarify that just a little bit more, Rob. Unless you get what he's saying, Naeem.
Ask who's the most important person in your life. No, I do not understand. Robert, could you please clarify?
Cool.
Don't pretend that I understand.
Hey, and also in the back room, we got Kim. She says, Merlin girl here, we need this in Harlem too. Yes, indeed. And great platform. Thank you, Kim. We appreciate you. So we're coming all over the place. We'll be all over the place. So definitely, like I said, we got to take one step at a time first, and we'll let everyone know what's going on. But that's the goal. That's the intent. So.
Yes. And thank you for saying that, Kim.
Yes, indeed.
We need this everywhere. And that's why I appreciate the virtual platform and also in person. My goal as a teacher is to be so masterful about the lessons that I can teach anyone to teach it, so that you take these lessons from healing toxic relationships and everything else that we offer, just like the facts of love and fear, and you bring it to your community, your people. So I want to create a hub of people who are really visionaries, right? Like LC, and talk about coming together to get the material, get the charge up, get to receive the message, to then go back to where you came from and share it with those people who will listen to you, because they'll listen to you before they listen to me. And if you'll listen to something I have to say, then you can take what I give you and give it away.
Exactly.
So that's what we want to do.
And again, this is fairly new. We just got it out today. As a matter of fact, it just went out today. So I'm gonna have to go get all the information and share it on the website. So Rob says, he says the love doctor. Ask the love doctor who's the most important person in your life.
That's a good. So if you're asking me who's the most important person in my life?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a good question, and I'll give you another way of looking at it, because there's no one person that is more important than any other person in my life, because every person in my life is equally responsible for me becoming the man that I am today, whether they were doing it in a physical, tangible way, whether it was in a lessons way, whether it was in a in a way where they taught me something, whether they helped me, whatever the case may be. All I know is that if any one person who's in my life now wasn't in my life, I wouldn't be who I am now. And I love who I am now. Therefore, I love everyone who's in my life equally. So that's my response to that.
Great response. I like that. And that's true, because it wasn't for everything that happened in your life, you wouldn't. You're right. Same here. I wouldn't be where I am today. So.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to think back, and it could be just that one conversation with that person that inspires you to go on this course of action, or this field of study, or this inspired you, go ahead and write that book, or whatever that led you to the other person that did it. And it's like, if it wasn't for that conversation, if it wasn't for that lunch, if it wasn't for that phone call, then my life would have taken a totally different trajectory, right? And I don't know what that would have been, but I know that I'm happy where I am. And I don't value any person above anyone else in my life personally. And if there was one specific person, I wouldn't tell you in public, because that's specialness, and I don't do that. But it's not.
There you go.
So but on the other side, I understand where that question comes from, and I'll give you another way of looking at it. There's a lot of times we value people in our lives by resource-based relationships, meaning the people who are giving and receiving the most resources from. So like the person you live with, the person you give the most money to or receive the most money from, or the person who makes more meals for you, the person who is responsible for more healthcare, transportation, or education, or who's been with you the most amount of time, or whatever, or, physical, romantic, sexual, children, all that. We start saying that these people are more important than other people. But when you look back at just the essence of what you're basing it on, time is going to pass regardless. Food, clothing, shelter, you're going to have that regardless, whether this person makes you food, or whether this person's paying your bills, or whether this person is who you're living with, or someone else. Are they inherently more important because they were created as better than everyone else? Or is it just because in your narrow field of understanding and purview that you just happen to be in front of this person more than you're in front of the majority of the other 8 billion people on the planet? But the other 8 billion people on the planet are not less valuable or important than any other person. Just because you spend more or share more of your life with one person than the other, it doesn't, in essence, make anyone more valuable or anyone valueless. And that's the way love would see it. Now, I do get it that if I was in the restaurant choking and somebody in there knew the Heimlich maneuver and helped me save my life, I'm like, that's an important person right now to me, right? Because I may not know them, but they saved my life. But that person wasn't the person that I was in a relationship with for 20 years. That person may not have been my sibling or my relative or whatnot, right? So that's again, everyone is important in your life, and depending on what how you want to look at it is up to you. I'm just telling you how love would look at it.
Cool. We got Dreddy Girl. She came in with a comment. She says, agree with Dr. Feelgood. Appreciate that loving response and expansion perspective to that question. Thank you, Dreddy. Appreciate that. And Rob says, I was asked that question while in counseling, and I told them me, because if I ain't right, nothing ain't going to get right. Like that.
Thank you, Robert. That's a good answer. Because the one person you have 100% control over in your life is, guess who? You.
Oh, yes,
the
sir.
Man or woman in the mirror. So thank you for sharing that.
Hey, and I do want to give us another shout out to the Phenomenal Women's Network, and make sure that you check them out. They have an awesome page on Facebook, and definitely check them out. And shout out to also all the ladies there, and again, a big shout out to visionary author. I get Elsie Logan's name not mixed up, but I don't know whether to put the author or the visionary first, but it's author visionary Elsie Logan. So shout out to her, and we got some major things coming up, and hopefully we'll get that commercial that you have, or that that poster, so we can start posting it. So hey, does someone want to come in, Naeem, or?
No, but I was just checking in the back to see if anyone wanted to join us on camera.
She's waving. I didn't know she wanted to come in. Kim, did you want to come in? Give us an okay or no?
No.
She said no.
No, if you wanted to wave and say hello to everybody.
Oh, okay.
We're about to jump off too.
Mm-hmm.
But can we go to commercial and then?
Yeah, we'll go to commercial.
Close it out.
Yeah, I'm saying trying to do too many things at one time, brother. I'm sorry. Hey, we're gonna give a shout out to our sponsor, the A Game, and we're gonna come right back. And again, that is the A Game, great for vitality, energy, strength, and libido. And like I said, I got 3 free samples left. Like I didn't say that last time. I have some samples left. Give me a call at 302-723-2836. Again, 302-723-2836 to get your free sample of the A Game. So great conversation, Naeem. Hey, you know what? Before we even get into the ending conversation, I just want to let people know exactly where they can find us at. They can find us on LinkedIn at Feel Good Talk, Facebook at Feel Good Talk, YouTube at FGT Mind, Body, Soul, and Business. Also on Instagram at feel.goodtalk. And you can also email us at feelgoodtalk@113@gmail.com. We have a plethora of shows. So I'm getting good with that word. I used to couldn't pronounce it. My tongue is lazy. You know what I mean? So we have a plethora of shows for you. And we're going to break some of those down during the week. Again, we have on Wednesdays, we have Feel Good Talk Love 101. That's my man, Naeem Najib. That's Wednesdays at 7 p.m. But we're on today for a special time. So we'll be back next week at the regular time. Let's talk about it on Thursdays at 7 p.m. with Kendra Moore and Izzy Meditates. We have Williams World on Fridays at 6 p.m. with my man, William Dickerson. We have Jamila J's Girl Talk on Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. She's coming all the way from California. And then we have Give Me Some Sugar, Baking with Steven on Sundays, actually every other Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. He's coming at you from Arizona. So he's all on the West Coast as well. But he won't be back until September. He's on summer break. We also have pre-recorded shows. Mindfulness Mondays with Izzy Meditates, Monday at 9. We have Words from the Heart with Shane Gordine. That's Tuesdays at 9 a.m. We have More Life with Essential Oils on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. And we have Cassandra's Corner, Saturdays at 10 a.m. This is for the kids right here on Feel Good Talk, Mind, Body, Soul, and Business. So went through all of that. And yeah, Naeem, great show as always, brother. And I want to give another shout out to author visionary Elsie Logan one more time, because I'm good with messing up names. So and we talk, periodically on a daily basis. So I apologize, Elsie. But I call her LC. So that's the difference. All right.
Yes. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, everybody who
July 25th. Don't forget.
July 25.
Yes, indeed. It's gonna be major, man. It's gonna be major. So, any last words before we get on out of here, brother? Actually, we got a few more minutes. We got some time. Anybody got any questions out there, or comments or concerns? Hold on, we got one. I think we got one comment out there. Let's see what we talking about. Let's see what they out here talking about. Dreddy Girl says, love your response too, Robert. Thanks for another healing, helpful show. Thank you, Dreddy. Appreciate you. Thank you, Rob, for always, coming on and supporting Feel Good Talk. Thanks everybody that comes on here. Fatima, Mary Louise, who we have on here today. We had a whole host of people on here today. So,
and for those of you who listen and don't comment as well, thank you for just listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening as well.
I come on here and set the goal to give you something that would be a little more nurturing to your mind and your attention than just your regularly scheduled news program or something else that's here to inspire fear or consumerism. So I want to just appreciate you for listening in. I've been told behind the scenes from different people who've said that it's helped them in their own relationships just from listening and taking part. And that's how healing a conversation can be when you set the goal and the purpose.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? It doesn't have to be a traditional therapy. It doesn't have to be a whole retreat in the woods somewhere. It doesn't have to be, make over your whole life. Sometimes it can just be a conversation. And one thing that somebody says, maybe in the comments, really touches you and you're like, you know what, I didn't think of it that way. I'm going to change something in my life because of this. Even if it's just my mind, I'm going to change the way I look at this. I'm going to start looking at it with more universal eye than just everything is, just
right
specific.
Awesome.
So I appreciate y'all for listening in.
Mm-hmm. Hey, great. And you know what, Naeem, this is definitely needed because a lot of people do talk about toxic relationships, and they talk about, it's still a lot of unanswered questions. So this is great, and this is a great way to look at it. Like I said, I learned a lot, when I first met you, learning about the universal principles of love. And I look at everything differently now. You know what I mean? So, shout out to you for that, and definitely appreciate you, bro. So that's it for me. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Can you share my screen one more time? I'm going to show the this is the Feel Good, the site, healingtoxicrelationships.com. You can look. Still have some updating to do. This is just talking about the online courses. You got, Healing Toxic Relationships 101, and also What is Love. There's the recorded sessions of this, and there's also the What is Love mini course on here, where you have lessons on love, what that is. We talk about our payment policy, which is that no one will be turned away because they cannot pay. You can leave a review. We got the resources and media, where we got Feel Good Talk. It'll bring you to the Facebook page of Feel Good Talk. Or it'll bring you to, Feel Good Talk's YouTube channel, and also bring you to Love 101 media channel, where we have everything uploaded there as well.
Awesome.
And there's other resources too, right? Books and guides, right? So there's all the guides that are written by yours truly. And I normally don't say this, but in case anyone was wondering, no, I don't have a externally sourced license to teach about love and healthy relationships. I'm licensed by my own common sense and critical thinking. And that's what I invite you to use as well. Everybody was born with that. There's no university or school or one particular person that can stake claim to my work or what I put out here, because it came from me and using my brain to think and just think about things in another way. I don't give credit to anyone except everyone in my life, as well as me, as well as everything that worked together to help me receive the clarity to put out what I put out to support everybody. And that's it. So just, some people ask me, oh, you're a social worker, you psychology. It's like, I've studied it all and I don't claim any of it. I use the things that I learned to help support the work that I do, but I don't stake claim to any particular university, although I will teach my work in the university. All of this work belongs to me. It's mine.
That's right.
And I claim that. Nobody gets the right to, stake claim to except me. So
that's why I always say that, Naeem. I always let people know that, this is your work. We didn't get it from YouTube or, I don't know, Google, stuff like that. So it came from you. So I just want people to understand that this is real stuff. This is the real deal here. You know what I mean? So, yep. Yeah. So, hey, man.
Yourself.
Yeah. A great show again, like always. Thanks for, all the information, informative information. And like I said, we will be doing something the 25th of July with author visionary Elsie Logan and the Phenomenal Women's Network. So definitely check us out. And that's I'll start posting it. We just started posting it today. So I will start posting it on Feel Good Talk and also on my other pages so that everyone can know what's going on. So definitely check that out. Me and Naeem will be there in the building along with every like I said, author visionary Elsie Logan to be there, and a lot of the people from Phenomenal Woman Network and people that we invited. So definitely come out. It's going to be a great time from 6 to 9, and it's at the Red Robin right there on 202 and Name is Road. Right in that shopping center there. You can't miss it with the big waterfall. So nice room there, and we should have a great time. So you want to come out, and learn a few things that you can take with you. This is definitely the place to be. So that's July 25th, and it'll be like I said, we'll post. It's already posted. I'll post it again, so we'll know exactly where it is. So so we're doing some major things, and eventually, like I said, we'll start touring as well. So it's just going to be, we're just going to take this around the world. So
and yes, and please, if you can, show up. And will we be live streaming that? Will we be doing it through the?
Yeah, I'm thinking about live streaming it as well. So I'm gonna live stream it plus tape it, and so it should be fun, man. We should have a great time.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. So it'll be available to you either way. And just like I said, my work belongs to me. I wrote it and I created it for me first, so that I can give it away to everyone. Because I live by the principle that what you give away, you keep. That ideas gained by giving and sharing. So I want love in my life. So I know that to have it, I have to give it away because it's free. Love is free. And so I give it away. So it's equally mine as it is yours, because I can't do it alone. So thank you all for joining.
Yep. So again, hey man, awesome conversation. We'll be back next week, the regular time next week. Last week and this week, some things that came up. So, but we'll be back next time, regular time, Wednesday at 7 p.m. right here on Feel Good Talk, Mind, Body, Soul, and Business. So again, my name is Charles Brakely. My man Naeem Najib. Matter of fact, let me start getting used to saying my name, Naeem. What am I again?
Dr. Feel Good.
Feel Good. So from Dr. Feel Good and my man, wait a minute.
The Love Doctor.
Dude, I'm tired as hell, man. I'm up there, that hot sun cutting. Oh my God. Anyway, we'll see you next week. Same time. Feel Good Talk Love 101. I'm your host, Charles Break, along with my man Naeem Najib. We're out of here. See you next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Peace.
Peace.
God.